important to understand the cultures and personalities, particularly of the target audience, and being able to adapt your style and in a personable way to effectively sell them the process to ensure it works effectively and to ensure that you can demonstrate the value of what you're trying to implement, and also optimize the tools and processes in the best possible way to make sure that the systems are easily understood in whichever context you are implementing the tools. An important part of the process is to bring the wider project team on the journey. A, to make sure that they're bought into the process. B, to listen to them, to understand their requirements and expectations. And C, to ensure that the process that you implement will be fit for purpose. And this will also help with educating the wider team. Keeping it simple is another key point that we tried to implement on the Lima project. What we wanted to focus on is doing the right thing and implementing industry and international good standards, but also keeping it simple and not to overwhelm them with complicated new processes and new tools which they would potentially struggle to adopt. So we had a very simple process that we started with, which was very easy to understand, very easy to implement, and very repeatable. And I think that worked quite well in trying to introduce the concept of risk management. And then what we did to improve on the simple steps was gradually enhance the maturity of the risk process and building on the simplicity to try and increase the robustness and maturity of the process. One of the things on the Lima project that we implemented successfully was transferring knowledge transfer on risk management and how to implement risk management successfully. We identified a risk champion and who we believe had the right skill set to take on this role, and that involved teaching the risk champion on the key principles of risk management in terms of how we implement it in the UK and what is industry best practice. Coaching, educating, providing advice and support on a regular basis, and also as part of that we tried to understand what the key requirements were from the stakeholders, not just from the risk champion but from the wider stakeholders within the Lima team, to understand the key requirements and to understand how risk management wanted to be implemented and what key metrics they were looking for in the implementation of risk management. Collaborative working was another key aspect that we introduced as part of the risk management process, and specifically around collaborating with the contractor and trying to move away from the typical adversarial relationship and trying to move more towards a relationship where there's harmony and working together jointly. And specifically we introduced that by having joint risk workshops with the contractor team. So that was led by myself and the risk champion, with the contractor team working together to understand what the key risks were and how to mitigate risk collectively, and having joint ownership and accountability of the risk register.